Hello and welcome to Reese Writes, where authors and readers connect. I'm Reese Ryan, author of sexy emotional romantic fiction featuring lots of family drama, some surprising secrets, and a big cast of complicated, sometimes messy characters. Last week we talked to Farah Rashan, who is the author of The Boyfriend Project. The week before that we talked to Kennedy Ryan, who is the author of The Queen Move, both huge books that are just doing amazing things. And this coming Friday, in a few days, I'm going to be talking to author Olivia Dade. Avery Flynn will be coming up the week after that. So lots of exciting content there, getting to get the story behind the book from different authors. So you can check out #StoryBehindTheStory, my playlist as to some of those past live streams. But I'm also going to be doing things like giving you some insight behind an individual book, giving you some book readings, talking to other readers about what they're reading right now. And so today I'm going to give you a little bit of the story behind the story of one of my books, and that is Candidly Yours. So it is part of a multi-author series that I did. The books can be read in any order. They all center around a single event in Chicago that is a Caribbean style event. And so they can be read in any order. And Candidly Yours in particular is a younger man, older woman love story. He is the former best friend of her much younger brother. And during the story, they get to travel the Caribbean and go to these different carnivals as they work together to create this documentary on carnival culture around the world. So lots of fun travel in this book. I just had so much fun writing it and doing the research for it. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little taste of it by reading it. Just a little bit. To give you a little bit of an introduction to Layla and Quincy. So here we go. And again, that's the cover because the one I'm reading is really looking toe up. And it's a author copy. So Layla St. John parked her late model compact car in the expanded parking lot of Miss Anna's Soul Food and Sweet and Savory Pies. It was the best place in town to get down home soul food. Sweet and Savory Pies had been owned by the Hazelton family for decades. A few years ago, they'd sold the place to Miss Anna Williams, and she'd added a wide range of soul food to the sweet and savory pies that already made the restaurant a town favorite for both tourists and natives. It's cold as hell today, Nia, Layla's younger sister, complained as she zipped her parka and pulled the hood over her head. I hope Miss Anna still has some chicken pot pies left. That would hit the spot right now. I'm trying to decide between that and the shepherd's pie, Layla said, as they headed toward the restaurant. A man stood at the counter laughing with Miss Anna. He was tall with warm brown skin and short, thick hair cut into a fade. The leather jacket and distressed jeans fit his toned body just right. She could only see his face in profile, but there was something about his brilliant, genuine smile that was incredibly appealing. Her sister's laughter pulled Layla out of her brief daze. Are you ogling that man's ass, Elle? Nia used the nickname that Layla's family and friends called her. I haven't seen you look at anybody like that in a minute. I was starting to think I needed to check your pulse. Her sister studied the man for a minute. Damn, bruh is fine. I see why he's got you all hot and bothered. Shh. Layla held a gloved finger up to her lips. She'd been shushing her sister, nearly 15 years her junior, for as long as Nia had been alive. That glass isn't soundproof, you know. I'm sure he would appreciate the admiration. Nia winked, then swung the front door open before Layla had time to plead with her little sister not to pull any of her cutesy antics. From what she could see, the man was handsome, and he had a heart-melting smile. Still, she wasn't into hookups. Layla's 40th birthday was just a couple of months away. If she was going to get involved with someone, it needed to be something real, something with promise. The man talking to Miss Anna was fine, and he had a body that reminded her that hers hadn't been attended to by anyone with a pulse in quite some time. But he definitely gave off a hookups only vibe. Not what she was looking for. Nia rushed inside, several steps ahead of her, just out of Layla's reach. If she embarrasses me, I'm going to strangle her. Good evening, Miss Anna, Nia waved innocently, drawing the attention of both the older woman who now owned the restaurant and the younger man she was chatting with. Nia, Layla, good to see you both, Miss Anna said. And you both remember Quincy Johnston? Layla froze where she stood as she studied the man's face. He was much older now than when she'd seen him last as a shy teenage boy. He'd certainly matured, but those kind eyes and that signature smile were just as she remembered. Why didn't I recognize him sooner? God, Layla? A slow smile spread across his handsome face as he ran a hand over his head. I haven't seen you since you and Nolan's high school graduation, she grinned. It's great to see you, Q. Layla and Quincy exchanged a hug that felt awkward now that she realized that the full-grown, fine-ass man whose behind she had been studying like it was the night before a finals exam was the childhood best friend of her little brother, Nolan, and a full 10 years younger than her. The fact that his strong arms and hard toned body felt like her personal heaven and smelled like leather, sand, and something woodsy, a panty-obliterating combination if ever she smelled one, didn't help. Layla's face was suddenly hot and her body tingled in places it definitely shouldn't. After all, Miss Anna's was a family restaurant, not the strip joint at the edge of town. She extracted herself from his lingering hug, but not before she inhaled one final whiff of his cologne. Maybe that made her a pathetic cougar, but she honestly couldn't help herself. At least she'd fought the overwhelming urge to accidentally graze the round bottom with her fingertips. I see your body finally grew into that melon head, Nia said, folding her arms, one hip cocked. Congratulations, Nia. Quincy chuckled, his voice much deeper and sexier than it had been before, even after the awkward voice change of puberty. He gave her sister a quick hug. Definitely nothing like the lingering, intimate hug he'd just given her. Not that it mattered or that she was counting. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. Are you here for dinner? Nia asked as soon as he released her. Yeah, I haven't had anything but coffee since breakfast this morning. He patted his belly, the sound drawing attention to his hard abs. Layla sank her teeth into her lower lip and held back a quiet sigh. What the hell was going on with her tonight? She needed to get away from this man. Right now. Well, Q, it was great to see you again, Layla was saying when her sister interrupted. It certainly is. You know, we were just about to sit down for a little Valentine's Day dinner too. Why don't you join us? Nia said. Unless you already have plans. Are you meeting somebody? Your parents, your siblings, a girlfriend? I assume there's no Mrs. Quincy since there's no ring on your finger. Nia! Layla hissed, elbowing her zero-filter little sister in the side gently. Maybe Q would just like a little peace and solitude. Or maybe he has a Valentine's Day date he'd prefer not to tell your nosy behind about. I'd love to have dinner with you. Quincy's voice dipped lower when he responded to Nia's invitation, but his eyes were locked with hers. Layla loosened the scarf around her neck and fanned herself with the collar of her shirt. Q, Nia, and Miss Anna regarded her with knowing smiles. What? It's hot in here with the ovens in the back. And I'm wearing a lot of layers right now. Layla's voice sounded way too defensive, even to her own ears. Nia cackled, and Miss Anna could barely hide her grin. At least Q had made the effort to hold back his smirk. Then let's grab a seat and get you out of all those clothes. He cringed, and it reminded Layla of the shy little boy who often stumbled over his words. I mean, your coat, obviously. Q cleared his throat. Why don't you ladies grab a booth? I'll catch up with you. I just need to talk to Miss Anna about something. Sounds good, Nia said, looping her arms through Layla's. See you later, Miss Anna, she called over her shoulder. Nia Monique St. John, what are you doing right now? Layla whispered loudly as she headed for a booth. What you wouldn't? She replied matter-of-factly. And you're welcome. So that was a little bit of Layla and Quincy's story, Candidly Yours. it's now available. I will put the link to the book below in the description below. So if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Like I said, this Friday, I'll be talking to Olivia Dade and have lots of great conversations coming up. So if you have an author you'd like to suggest that I talk to, or if there's a book you'd like to see me read from in the future, you can leave that in the comments below. In the meantime, happy reading.